Yeah, it's true that the devil is a liar. Yeah, it's true that these people with my words fire. Yeah, it's true. If you keep worshiping idols rather than reading your Bible, I'ma lay hands on you like Nehemiah. Yeah, it's true. Faith without works is dead. From the hands of the Lord is a cup and the wine is red. So obvious, his blood is enough. Served with bread. Cast his belly like Christ. I rose from the dead, and I want my life from the blood that he shed. Like a transfusion, killing like a fusion when the sword get wet. Industry rappers ain't heard of me yet. I am the one you should see.
Let's go to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the Lord, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest you die. So he said, if you touch it, you're going to die. Now everybody is familiar with this. They're going to touch it. They're going to do more than touch it. They're going to devour it. All right? And still live. So is God lying here? All right? He's speaking of a spiritual death. All right? To lack understanding, to lack wisdom is death, man. Okay? Let's go to 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. But the serpent is going to tell her, look, listen, you're not going to die. All right? You're going to be fine. You'll be good. For God doeth know that in the day you eat thereof, like, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to make one wise. See that? This tree will make you wise if you eat from it. Meaning what? She wasn't wise before that. All right? Before she ate of the tree, she wasn't wise. Okay? Watch this. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. All right? Because one of the things when the Most High made the woman, we're going to get Job 39 and verse 17. It reads, Because God have deprived her of wisdom. So when God created the woman, he deprived her of wisdom. Neither have he imparted to her understanding. Okay? So before she ate of the tree, and it's a reason for people like, why would he do that? Why would he? It wasn't for her to know these things. All right, that he wanted the man to know. It was not for her to need the wisdom and knowledge. She didn't need all that, because the man was her protection and security and things of that such. She didn't need this stuff. She served God by serving the man. Okay, but when she ate of the tree, all right, she became wise. Okay? Meaning she wasn't wise before that. Okay? But let me show you something. Everybody think it's good to be wise. Sometimes it's not good to be wise. It's not always good to be wise. Get Job chapter 37 and verse 24. It reads, Men do therefore fear him. All right? Talking about the Almighty. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart. All right? At first he respected the woman more than the man. That's why a woman got more respect than a man. All right, before he's looking at that as a bad thing. All right, so after the fall of Eve, when she ate of the tree and became wise, right, he cursed her. And one of the curses was, let's go to Genesis. Chapter 3. And let's start at 14. And the Lord said unto the, let's start at 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy conception. Not saying that she already didn't have pain when she had children. She already had a little pain when she had children. It's natural. All right. But he said, I'm going to greatly multiply them. I mean, it's going to be greater than what it was already was. And thy conception, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. Meaning what? Disobedience, man. When you do this, you're going to bring forth children in sorrow. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Okay? Your desire is going to be unto him, and he's going to rule over thee. All right? Let's go to 1 Timothy. Reason why. Let's get the reason why. 2 and verse. Let's start at 13. For Adam was formed first, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. So if they continue in these things, they will be saved in that childbearing. All right, when she having the complications, and he multiply her sorrows. All right, during pregnancy, women seems to get more down, more depressed, more anger, more grumpy. All right, especially with a girl. If they having a girl, they definitely would. They be more, quick, more emotional. So we're gonna go and get 1 Peter 2:7. It reads, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. See? So it was commanded to the man to dwell with the woman with knowledge, not for the woman to have that knowledge. All right? The Most High deprived her of that. All right? Because it was for her if she wanted to get it, she had to go to a man. All right? In order for if the woman wanted to get that knowledge, she would have to do what Lord created her to do. That means marry. You know what I'm saying? But now that women have wisdom and knowledge, they like, what I need a man for now? You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy. You know what I'm saying? What I need him for? I'm an independent chick. I'm an independent woman. You know what I'm saying? I can pay my own bills. Okay? I can pay my own car note. I can pay my own mortgage. I can pay my own rent. I can take care of my own children. See? Because she has the knowledge, but in the beginning it wasn't so. He deprived her when he made her of that wisdom and that knowledge. Meaning what? She knew. She knew. All right? Nobody had to tell her back then. She just knew. If I wanted to get ahead, I wanted to be safe, I wanted to have security, I want to make it in this life, I want to be saved in childbearing. All right? Then I'm going to have to go to the man. I'm going to have to marry. Okay? She already knew it. But after the eating, after she was beguiled by the serpent, right, to do something the Lord told her not to do, which was to go get to eat of this tree so she can be wise, right? Right? He said, you're going to have to do this to survive. Right? Now this is what you're going to have to get through this. Childbearing, desire to your husband, him ruling over you, You're gonna have to do this now. And man, you're gonna have to get it from the sweat of your brow. Right? Right? You're gonna have to work twice as hard. So what he did was, when I'm reading here, he's not adding any pains, any sorrows. All right? You always gonna have sorrows. They already had sorrows. She already had pain when she brought forth children. It's just that he multiplied it. All right? Adam already had labor. He already had to till the ground. He just made it greater for him. That's all. Because when you get to Genesis chapter 2, all right, and we read at verse 15, it said, the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and keep it, man. That's labor. All right, he already had a job assignment. He already had to fulfill. But after they fell and disobeyed the Most High brought down their hearts with labor. That's what he do. He'll add more onto you. All right? That's what he does. They already had to work. She already had to obey her husband. You know what I'm saying? These things she was already having to do. But the Lord was going to multiply it, though. All right? The desire she already had for her husband is going to be even greater. It's going to be her desire. It's going to be strong, man. All right? She thought that he was ruling over her before. He's going to rule over her even more now. More so. Because of what she done. Because of the transgression. Because what she did made him lose the kingdom. Because of her sin, man. All right? A man can go out his way for you. He can do things and do this and do that. But if you cross him, he can forgive you this and that. But it's going to be harder to gain that man now. More so than ever. You're going to desire him even more. You're going to want him back. You're going to want that man back. All right? So the things in the curses, they're nothing new. Even when he told the snake, he told the serpent, on thy belly thou should go. He was already on his belly, man. But you got Christianity saying he was walking around with legs and arms, man. And he was talking, and this is what people don't understand. A snake always was on it. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Let's go to 14. And the Lord said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast. He was already cursed, but now he's about to be cursed above all of them. To be a serpent, you're cursed, man. All right, you think that's a good thing to be a serpent? You think that's a good thing? No, he just made it worse. He just said, now you're going to be cursed above all the cattle. Because before that, it wasn't all the cattle. It probably was a few of the beasts on the earth. But now he said, because you're going to be cursed above all these beasts. Okay? The Lord had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, have God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. That's what he up, man. To take. Just like you got these nations who the real serpent out here today, telling the women to do something that God didn't command them to do. All right, one of the things, the main things that God commanded the woman to do was to keep the house. To keep it what? To keep it so it was livable. All right? It said, foolish woman, it said, a wise woman buildeth her house. See? If she has wisdom, she's going to build her house. And the only way she can get the wisdom is through her husband. So if she is doing what the Lord told her to do, and she's submitting herself to her husband in the fear of God, she's going to build that house. But a fool plucketh it down with her hands. Proverbs 14:1. Means she tears it down. She's not keeping it. Definitely if she tore it down. All right. If she tear it down, she's no longer built. She don't have anything to build. All right, because she tore it down. All right. A fool is the opposite of wise, and the opposite of wise is foolish. All right. So to be a fool, right, is to not obey your husband, huh? Okay? That's what makes you a fool. Okay, we're going to get 1 Peter 2 and verse 7. 1 Peter 2 verse 7. Let's go here. It reads, First Peter chapter 3 verse 7. Salaki. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, right, as unto the weaker vessel. See that? Because that was Adam's one of his priorities, man. And you see that honor mean respect. See, she had respect because she didn't have that wisdom and knowledge, man. She had more respect because she didn't have it. All right? That's why I said giving honor, right, unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together. Y'all both gonna have the kingdom. Adam and Eve had the kingdom of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. All right? Honor. Let's go back to Job chapter 37 and verse 24. Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart. See that? If you wise of heart, the Lord don't respect you, man. He don't honor you, man. That's what honor mean. You don't respect. That's why I said it says he respecteth not. See that? That's why he didn't even respect Cain's offering, man. He had no respect of it. All right? Let's go back to Job chapter 39 and verse 17. Because God have deprived her of wisdom. See? Neither have he imparted to her understanding. Right? What time she lifteth up herself on high. See? Didn't she say she gonna be like God? She lift herself up. All right? It says she's going to the horse and the rider, man. All right? She giving that power. She's like Anthaliah, man. All right, let's go get that. 2 Kings chapter. I'm not going to be long. 2 Kings chapter 11. All right? And when Athaliah, the mother of Ahijah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal. She started killing the children, man. But Jehosheba, the daughter of King Joram, sister of Ahijah, took Joash, the son of Ahijah, and stole him from among the king's son, which were slain. And they hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber with Athaliah, so that he was not slain. And he was with her hid in the house of the Lord 6 years. And Athaliah did reign over the land. So Athaliah had the power. All right? She killed all the seed royals, so she didn't have anybody threatening her power. All right? And now they've been given that power. And they saying, I don't want no man, that could threaten this power. They power hungry, man. All right? That's why Eve ate of the tree. All right? She wanted that power to be like gods, man. It's like these women today, man. They want to be like men. He said to the men, you are gods, but you shall die like men. Because gods are men. Huh? All right? So Athaliah, she had reign. And she had power and authority over the land. She had no man in the world. She had no man. She was single. You know how Beyonce said, well, all the single women. All right? If you want to put a ring on it. All right? Athaliah, she didn't want nobody to put a ring on it. She didn't want to relinquish that power. Because if she would have got married and got a king, he would have been in charge of everything, man. This lady got so power hungry that she killed all the seed royal. They had to hide the last child, Joash was his name, for 6 years now. Okay? So in the 7th year, they're going to bring this child back. All right? Into the temple, and they're going to crown him. And they're going to anoint his head. All right? She's going to hear a lot of celebration, clapping, trumpets and stuff. She like, what's going on? What's going on in the land? All right, so I'm gonna fast forward. We're gonna drop down. And the guards, they had to surround the child too, man, to protect him. All right, we're gonna start at 12. And he brought forth the king's son and put the crown upon him and gave him the testimony. And they made him king and anointed him. And they clapped their hands and said, God save the king. And when Athaliah heard the noise of the guard and of the people, she came to the people and to the king into the temple of the Lord. And when she looked, behold, the king stood by a pillar, as the manner was, and the princes and the trumpeters by the king, and all the people of the land rejoiced and blew their trumpet. And Athaliah rent her clothes and cried, treason, treason. And in case some of y'all don't know what treason means, this means a crime or act betraying the kingdom. She felt like she was betrayed. All right? Like he was a traitor, man. Like the people, they done traded on her. So she's mad. She done ripped her clothes, everything, man, when she seen this. Okay? All right? She knew she just been stripped of her power. But Jehudah, the priest, commanded the captains of the hundreds, the officers of the host, and said unto them, have her forth without the ranges, and him that followeth her kill with the sword. For the priest had said, let her not be slain in the house of the Lord. And they laid hands on her, and she went by the way by the which the horses came into the king's house. And there was she slain, man. That's the only way, man. They had to put her down, man. She was power hungry, man. All right? These women today that's coming into this truth. All right? That's what I'm speaking to. All right? The ones who got understanding. That's who Paul was writing to. The ones who understood. In order for that man to increase, you got to decrease. I mean, you got to play the background sometimes. You got to learn to play the background. All right? Your biggest strength is your feminism. You being feminine. You being the weaker vessel. No man want another man. He putting his pants on to go to work. You putting your pants on to go to work. You know what I'm saying? He got calluses on his hands. You got calluses on your hands, man. All right? This is not attractive, man. This is what women don't understand. And they wondering why they can't get a man, because you made yourself one. All right? You a man. You're wondering why you can't get to develop all the traits that a man have. Now you're looking for a woman. A lot of it begins with the worshiping of the beast, man. Let's go to Romans chapter 1. All right, this ain't scripted today, man. I'm just coming off the top. All right, because this is a topic that need to be addressed. Okay, let's get Romans chapter 1. Romans chapter 1. We're going to start at verse 21. Because, this is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 21. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God. See? Neither were thankful. See? Not thankful. Some women want a word. You got to ask yourself, why you want a word? If a man saying you don't have to. Why? They're going to say, because I want to have my own. Something's wrong with that. If we together, it's not own. It's ours. I want to have. You have children with this man. You say, my children. These are signs of power hunger. When you're power hungry, you use things like I, my, want, mine, my own. You're not single anymore. When you sing, you say my own car, my own house. But you living together and you still saying my own. You have to relinquish that power. It's our house. It's our children. It's our finances, our money. Right? Right? Even if you didn't buy it. Okay? You have been taught that by your oppressor. Believing in things that are made up. Make believe. It's not gonna happen. It's not real. We're not realistic. We got to start being more realistic. And their foolish heart. Notice what he said. He said, and their foolish heart was darkened. See that? See that? It was darkened. Because sin would darken your heart. Right? When Eve ate of the tree, she was deprived of her wisdom and given wisdom of good and evil. Not the wisdom that God gave her, but the wisdom of good and evil. All right? Watch this. Professing themselves to be wise. Why? Because they ate of that tree of good and evil. Right? And if you wise, the Lord don't got no respect of you, man. Because he knoweth all things, man. You don't know. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. That's what Eve became. Eating from that tree. Can we say, it don't say, the scriptures don't say she became a fool, but I can't, it's not as safe to say you had the garden. You had everything you needed. All right? Then you go and do something God said not to do, and now you kicked out of the garden. Is the thing that she done, is that not foolish? Okay, so she became a fool. Right? Because before that, and she was doing what God said, she was wise. Even though she was deprived from wisdom and understanding from when she was created, but her going to be with the man and letting the man be her protection and her security, putting hedges around her, protect her. Right? is wise, is wisdom. So even though God didn't give her wisdom and understanding by her doing what God said and being a helpmeet to that man and being a rib and being his support, that made her wise. I don't think y'all follow me, see? They're like, okay, how can she be wise? And you said that God deprived her of wisdom. You're not getting it. I know what I said. It's just for some gonna get it. Some are not gonna get it, man. Alright, this thing is still a mystery to some, man. We're gonna go to Ephesians. Right? Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5. And we're gonna read 32. It's Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 32. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. See, this right here is a great mystery, man. All right? Some people ain't going to get it, man. All right? I'm sorry. But to the ones it's intended for, hey, salute. All right? Let's get... Matter of fact, I want to read Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 17. Which forsaketh the God of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. See, too many women struggle to combine aspirations for work and family. In the early 20th century, most women in the United States did not work outside the home. And those who did were primarily young and unmarried. In that era, just 20% of all women were gainful workers. As the Census Bureau then categorized labor force participation outside the home, of those married were categorized as such. 5%. That's it. Of course, these statistics somewhat understate the contributions of married women to the economy, beyond housekeeping and childbearing. Since women work in the home often included work in family businesses and the home production of goods, such as agricultural products for sale. Also, the aggregated statistics occurred the differential experience of women by race. African American women were about twice as likely to participate in the labor force as were white women at the time. See that? Why? Because they had to go get it. Like some people would say today, gotta go get that bag. See, the black women have to go get that bag, more so than the white woman. All right? Because her husband can substantially provide her with bread. All right? So she didn't have to work. Now, it's understandable that some women have to. All right? The Most High haven't raised that man up to the point yet, all right, that he can actually take you out of that field. And some people have the choice to work or not work, but still choose to work. All right? No sympathy for them. But I'm pitiful to the ones who want to be able to stay home and take care of their children and teach their children and raise them children. But for the ones who they want to, just because they was conditioned by their family and they seen their mom and dad working, so they thought already by the age they was 15, like, I gotta work. As soon as I turn 16 and it become lawful for me, I can get a job. But you gotta ask yourself at this age, what are you getting a job for? You know what I'm saying? You in your mother's house still. You haven't left your father's house yet. Right? You're still in high school. You don't have any bills. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful. That's why the scripture said, despise not thy youth, man. Don't be so in a hurry to grow up, man. And I'm not going to lie to you. I was like that too. I was so in a hurry to grow. I want to grow up. I want to grow up. When bills started coming, you're like, boy, I had it made, man. I had it made, man. Didn't even know I had it made. But now, people are so in a hurry to grow up, we don't watch our parents slave because they didn't submit themselves in the fear of God. Just because they went to church, once you come into this truth, you understand that they wasn't taught anything in there. Okay? And God said he dwelleth not in temples made with hands. And that's clear. He said there's one here greater than the temple itself, man. All right? Talking about the Lord, man. All right? And he's not dwelling in there, man. The whole earth and the fullness thereof is his, man. How you going to confine him and put him into a box? You can't do that. Okay? So just because you was raised keeping traditions of men like Christmas and Thanksgiving, that don't mean when you get older you have to, but some people have been conditioned already, like, okay, I got to get me a tree. As soon as you get an apartment, first thing you do is decent, I got to get a tree. I got to keep the traditions my mama's always kept. Even though God said not to. That's the thing. Israel got to repent from that, man. All right? And come up out of this harlot, man. Okay? So we're going to read on. Because it's continually subverting homes and dividing us as a nation. It said largely because they were more likely to remain in the labor force after marriage. See? So even after marriage, they were likely to remain in the workforce. All right? They knew even after I get married, I'm still going to have to work. Because this man ain't in no position to take care of me, him, and our child, the bills, the lights, and this and that. Because she seen it with her mom. She seen it with her parents. Son done seen their mama have to raise just all by herself, man. All right? Today you got music today that's encouraging and promoting the demise of marriage, making marriage look unattractive. You got people out here, man. All right, too. Single women out here going about. All right, busybodies, man. Wandering from house to house. All right. Who's suffering from identity theft, man. They don't know who they are. They think that their cars, their degrees, their diploma, all right, their job, their career is what define what they are. This is the symptoms and the illness and the sickness that the daughters of Zion is suffering from. Don't let the material things be your confidence and be your self-esteem, man. Some people think if they don't have a house or have their own business or they don't have the new Jordans, that they're nobody. No. To think that you had those things, right, made you somebody is what makes you nobody. But to be able to live without those things and still be able to carry on in the spirit of the Most High God, man, that's what makes you something in the eyes of God. Might not make you something in the eyes of men, but we're not here to seek men's satisfaction. We're here to seek the Lord's satisfaction, man. All right, let's get Galatians. You got a Bible, just follow along with me. You can scroll on your phone. It reads, and we're going to start at 3. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. See, what happened to you? You go and get that Remy hair, fake breasts. You wear a lot of makeup, right? Put on your face. You tell yourself you're a 10. Up under that, when you take it off, you really a 3. All right? Your hair's not yours. You bought that, but you say it's yours because you bought it. Material things is what make a lot of you real. Okay? But the real strength comes from the Father, man. The God of your youth. All right? Not what you put on, not what you wear. Let's get Matthew chapter 6. But we down these women that's actually fearing the Lord. That's what this world do, man. And guess what? God is not mocked, man. For what a man soweth, so shall he reap, man. We're not going to continue to scorn the horse and his rider, man. Those days are over with. All right? The real prophets of the Most High are back now. And it's time for the evil doers to to give back. All right, to sit down. All right, with the lies. Sit back, to relinquish that power. It's time to relinquish that power, man. It's time. They don't see it. I hope they see it before it's too late, man. Because soon they're going to be mowed down like the grass. All right? Matthew chapter 6. And this is verse, I'm going to start at verse 33. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 30. Wherefore, if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So the thing is this, man. That's the first thing you need to be seeking. Women should be seeking when they leave high school. The Lord. They should have never departed from the jump. All right? And what it is, we shed light by our mother and our father, man. And that was something that was commanded not to do. All right? So we're going to read on. It says, African women are about twice as likely to participate in the labor force as were white women at the time, largely because they were more likely to remain in the labor force after marriage. Major strides women have made in the labor market. Their entry into paid work has been a major factor in America's prosperity over the past century. So guess what? Clap for yourselves, all you single women pushing 40 and still don't got a husband, man. And you women that's out here that's not married, encouraging other sisters to be divorced or live single. All right? Clap for yourselves, because you're the reason why this great whore is able to sustain the power that it has. All right, over the righteous, man. All right? You play a major part in that. Okay? Clap for yourself. Give it up for yourself. The fact that many women left work upon marriage reflected cultural norms. All right? The nature of work available to them. The legal strictures. The occupational choices of those young women who did work were severely circumscribed. Most women lack significant education. All right? So this was another thing, man. The women that, they did a chart on this. You can look it up. All right? The women that had education, right, graduated with a diploma or a college degree, they were more likely to get married over the ones who didn't have a good education. They was more likely because they had knowledge. All right, they went to school, got the wisdom of this world. Okay? But the wisdom of he wanted you to have wisdom of him, not the wisdom of this world. All right? So, they get married, and then they get divorced. All right? For the same women, the divorce rate is high for the same women that did get married, either after high school or in college. Okay? You can look it up. It says the occupational choices of those young women who did work were severely circumscribed. Most women lack significant education, and women with little education mostly toiled as piece workers. All right, so if you ain't have a lot of knowledge to get you a office job or this and that, you would be called a piece worker in factories or as domestic workers. Jobs that were dirty and often unsafe, man. Janitor. Okay? The house sitter, changing old men pampers, man. You a maid in the year 2022. You run around here cleaning people underwear. right? And you're saying you got a job, right? But you won't even clean your husband. You won't clean your own husband underwear, man. You didn't like cleaning your underwear, but you will go and clean the heathen's underwear, man, just to say you got a job. All right, destroying your whole marriage for a piece of job like that, man. All right, let's get Lamentation right quick. All right, and you thinking you something, man. When the Lord said you nothing, you ain't nothing, man. All right. So, the scriptures say, we're going to get Lamentation, chapter 3 and verse 48. My eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people, man. Sit back sometime and cry, man, for what I see, man. Because it's sad. It's sad, man. Y'all can't see it, man. You walk on in darkness. Verse 51, my eye affected my heart. From what I seen, man, it messed with my mind. Because all of the daughters of my city, look at them, man. They thinking they something, man. And they sitting out here, can't even get a husband, man. No man want to take care of them, man. And they from man to man. Beyonce said something to her, said you're irreplaceable. She said she'll have another you in a minute. That's what she said. Another you in a minute? You're going to get rid of this man and get with another one that was just like him? How foolish are our people become? All right, let's see. And the reason is that women want to be a man, man. Okay, and she's the poster child
to go to master
to subvert households, man, and cause marriage not to look attractable. But marriage should be attractable, man. Okay, she's finna kick this guy out. She said to the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Everything you own in the box to the left. In the closet, that's my stuff. Yes, if I bought it. Please don't touch. She bought it. And keep talking that much, that's fine. But could you walk and talk at the same time? Then it's my name. It's on that jag. So remove your bags and they call you a. She said, that's my name that is on that jag. So remove your bags. Let me call you a cab. All right? Don't do nothing for me. You kick me out. All right? I only need you to call me a cab. You kick me out. I get myself home where I'm finna go, man. Okay? I don't want nothing from you. You don't kick me out. Okay? Standing in the front yard, telling me how I'm such a fool. Talking about I'll never ever find a man like you. You got me twisted. She said you got me twisted. You must not know about me. Okay? Hear this Jezebel talking, man? All right? You hear this Jezebel talking? Watch what she say. Watch what she say. You must not know about me. I could have another you in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute. I could have another you in a minute. It's that easy. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute. He's on his way already. Let him know, like, I already had me a side nigga on the side, man. Okay? But she talking about you had somebody in the car, she already had a nigga on the side. Okay? Then she said, I could have another you in a minute. Why you want another him? If he's cheating on you and doing all this and doing that, why you want another him? This don't make sense. But this is the stuff that got our people in bondage and is tearing down the houses, man. Our people have been conditioned to think the things that they're doing is normal, man. This is sad. This is a sad day, man. Then you got to go and take the dirty and the unsafe jobs. Man, when the pandemic hit, these sisters wanted to go home, man. They was in the hospital. Oh, we locked in. They locked us in with the patients. And they was going crazy, man. Should have been at home in the first place, man. Educated women were scarce. Fewer than 2% of all 18 to 24-year-olds were enrolled in an institution of higher education. And just 1/3 of those were women. Such women did not have to perform manual labor, but their choices were likewise constrained between the 1930s and mid-1970s, when participation in the economy continued to rise, with the gains primarily owing to an increase in work among married women. By 1970, 50% of single women and 40% of married women were participating in the labor force. Whew, that's a lot. Several factors contributed to this rise. First, with the advent of mass high school education, school systems came into play, man. Right after World War II. Between 1910 and 1940. Between 1910 and 1940. Yeah. During the World War II era, man. We're going to read on. By 1970, 50% of single women and 40% of married women were participating in the labor force. Several factors contributed to this rise. First, when the advent of mass high school education, graduation rates rose substantially. At the same time, new technology contributed to an increased demand for clerical workers, and these jobs were increasingly taken on by women. Moreover, because these jobs tended to be cleaner and safer, the stigma attached to work for a married woman diminished. And while there were still marriage bars that forced women out of the labor force to keep them from working, these former barriers were gradually removed of the period following the World War II. Over the decades from 1930 to 1970, increasing opportunities also arose for highly educated women. That said, early in that period, most women still expected to have short careers, and women were still largely viewed as secondary earners whose husbands' careers came first. As time progressed, attitudes about women working and their employment prospects changed. As women gained experience in the labor force, they increasingly saw that they could balance work and family. All right? So they just seen something that they didn't see before. Right? They didn't think they can be like gods. See? They didn't think they could do both of these things at the same time, man. Hold down the house and work. Okay? But watch this. It says a new model of the two-income family emerged. Some women began to attend college and graduate school with the expectation of working. Listen, as soon as they graduate, they already know, like, they was conditioned. I gotta get a job. I gotta work. They weren't thinking about a husband. Oh, I can get a husband and he'll pay for my school. They weren't thinking like that. They think, no, instead of marriage, they thought work. Back to the plantation. No time for marriage. I gotta work. World? What in the world is wrong with our people, man? Is Israel a servant? Why is he spoiled? This is crazy, man. Money is the root to all evil, man. This is how crazy. Listen to this again. It says some women begin to attend college and graduate school with the expectation of working, whether or not they plan to marry and have family. So they didn't care. Like, they already expect, even if I get married, I'm going to work. Or if I didn't marry, I'm going to work. Even if I have children, I'm going to work. Like, our people have been conditioned to this mindset, man. And before you know it, you're 50, 60 years old. You never had a family. You never had a husband. Because your whole life, what made you a woman, you've been taught what makes you a strong woman is to be able to work. And what makes you stronger is being able to work and raise children on your own. That makes you even stronger. People think they got a case. Man, my mama raised 9 children. You're like, wow. And then they go, yeah, she raised 9 children and she did it on her own. Wow. Like people be like wowing for that, man. That's almost like a brother when he comes saying, man, I served time for 10 years. I'm hard, man. I served time for 10 years. That don't make you smart, man. Because you went and served time. You know what I'm saying? That don't make you wise, man, because you had to serve some time, man. And you got out. Whoop-dee-woo. What makes you wise is that you didn't go in the first place, man. You keeping your tail out. Okay? Same with women. That don't make you wise because you was running around here trying to juggle 9 kids like a clown juggle balls. That don't make you wise. Makes you wise you having a husband, man. And you holding him down and supporting him and taking care of your family and raising your children, you and him, man. That shows your strength. That shows your wisdom. But nah, this is how people have been conditioned in this world. Material things determine your value. See, you think material things, and men too, they ain't exempt. But the main time, I want to mainly touch on the woman today. Because I touch on the men all the time. All right? But material things, sisters, and to the brothers too, right here. Don't let that determine your worth. Okay? Ruth didn't have nothing. And she followed Naomi back home to Bethlehem, Judah, man. Only thing she had was faith, man. And that's what got her all the things she always asked for. A child, a husband. And a husband, not just a husband, but a husband that feared God, man. I ain't talking about no little hood rat running around here with his pants down to his ankles, man. Saying he a man, because he done served a 5-year bid and he went to jail. He's hardcore. He done banged on some niggas. That's what they say, man. I ain't talking about him. Alright? I'm talking about one with the fear of the Lord, man. And the sisters with the fear of the Lord, man, this is for you. Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22, let's get it. Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. Let's go get it. It reads, how long will thou go about? How long y'all gonna keep this up, man? Oh, thou backsliding daughters, you going backwards. The thing used to be to have a husband and to have children. But y'all going backwards and saying it's not. That is not the thing. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have children. Because your oppression, how you get here? If your mama and dad had that mentality, you got to ask yourself, would you be here to even be able to make that choice? Why deprive somebody else of their life when you got one? This is the sickness, man, of our people. For the Lord have created a new thing in the earth. This is new, man. It's new. A woman shall compass a man. what that means, man. All right, we learn about that in the book of Judges, man. The men was being cowards. They didn't want to step up, man, and take the charge. And then guess what? Deborah had to step up. And Deborah was given all the opportunity. All right, to your boy. Okay, I call him a boy because he wasn't being manly at it. He was being a coward. He was being a coward at the time, man. So the woman had to step up. So I understand that some women out here don't have no control of their situation, where they have to work. This ain't talking to you. But please work to get out of that. Don't make it a career, man. Y'all trying to make it a career. That's when it becomes a problem, man. Because when you try to make it a career in this place, you become a slave, man. And that's all you know. And that's all you do. And that's all you become. You working to build a place that cares nothing about you, man. If they cared so much about us here, the people that run it would have paid all black people back for the reparations, man, of slavery, man. No one should have to march, go in the buildings, stand up, stand their ground, and this and that. Everybody know what happened in this country. But choose to turn the blind eye and say, just forget about it, tie up your boots, and let's get back to work. Hit the plantation. Now they got the women thinking like that. Because they don't know no better, man. And they thinking if they don't go to work, and they don't get a career, they don't get a degree, then they're nothing. They don't know nothing. But then I look like something in the eyes of my mother and my father because I got this degree. When it's been countless times over and over how great our people were. It's people that dropped out of high school. Kanye West. Look at this man, a billionaire, man. People like LeBron James didn't even go to college, man. But look at it, man. They proved time and time again how you didn't need that. It's okay to have if it's directed towards helping your people. Because no one else is trying to help us, man. They just saying, get it out the mud. That's it. And you want to show, and we understand that some people like a challenge. All right? And they want us, well, let me show them I can get it out the mud. Let me show them how great my power is. Let me show them how great God's power is. And you feel like you got something to prove. You don't have nothing to prove in the eyes of God, but to fear him and to keep his commandments, man. That's how you prove something, man. By fearing God. That's how. This is the book of Judges, chapter 4 and verse 4. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lepiddoth, she judged Israel at that time. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? She was a wife, man. She was a wife. She wasn't single. All these single sisters out here, man, want to run off at their gums, man. And run their mouth, man. Pushing this feminism movement. Helping them with their agenda, man. And quoting scriptures they have no understanding of. Thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn, man. For every man is worthy of his reward. If that man treading out the corn, man, let him get his reward, man. Stop running your mouth. Deceiving the people. Speak on Deborah. Tell the whole truth. She was married. She had a husband. His name was Lepiddoth. This is the book of Judges, chapter 4, verse 4. And Deborah, a prophet says, the wife, the wife, the wife. It didn't say the single, the single, the single. It said the wife of Lepiddoth. She judged Israel at the time. That's all we need to know. She was married. She wasn't running around here single, running off at her mouth, man. Then we take scriptures like to the Jew and to the Greek, not understanding what that mean, man. The Greeks were the Syrophoenicians at the time. in the land. When we talking about the Sar Felicia, we talking about Canaanites, man. We talking about Ham. But what you done been conditioned to think that's talking about in your mind, you think that's your lover. You think that's Serge Bourgier. That's why women must have a husband to dwell with them with knowledge, man. Paul was mistaken for a Greek. The man said, "You speak Greek?" Let's get Acts chapter 21. I know this don't have anything. I just want to touch on this right quick. All right? Let's get Acts chapter 21 and verse 37. It reads, "And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers?" But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city of Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. And when he had given his license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there were made a great silence, he spoke unto them in the Hebrew tongue. All right? So he was mistaken for an Egyptian. He said, ain't you that Egyptian that led the people, 4,000 people? They remember when he was murdering people, man. All right, out there into the wilderness, that's you. Now you calling yourself a Jew. Because he was mistaken for an Egyptian. All right? Christ and his mother fled down into Egypt too, man, to run from the king, man, at the time, from Herod, man. Why? Because we blend in. We melanated people. People don't know what they talking about, man. They bumping their gums, man. Then came he to Derbe and Lystra. This is the book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 1. And behold, a certain disciple was there named Timothy, the son of a certain woman which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek, which was well reported as by the brethren that were at Lystra and Iconium. Him would Paul have to go forth with him, and took and circumcised him because of the Jews which were in those quarters. The reason why he did that was because of this. For they knew all that his father was a Greek. So they knew his father was a Greek. They knew who the father was. See, if it wasn't for them knowing who the father was, he would have blended in right with Paul, man. They wouldn't even know. Just like there's a lot of brothers out here, man, African out here. And some of you in these camps, man. All right? Some of y'all in these camps blending in, man. All right? Thinking nobody know, man. These are spies that come in, all right, to spy out your liberty, man, and to bring you back into bondage. All right? So the only reason they knew this was a Greek, which this was a Canaanite, right, was because of what? His father. They knew his father personally. I know who that dude is right there because I know his father. He ain't no Israelite. Okay, that was going on. All right, so we got to start taking scriptures out of context. Back to the main thing at hand, man. It's that. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man, whom women begin to attend college, right? So women begin to attend college and graduate school with the expectation of working. That's you getting an education to try to surpass a man, man. Today, that's what it done became. It's a trend. All right, the marriage is the last thing, man, that a woman put on her goal in life. She said, after I get my career, after I do this, after I do that, then I do what God said. right? Okay? Because I got to make sure I'm financially stable to have a child. Not my husband is financially stable to have. That's a man's priority. That's the man's duty. Right? To provide her with those things that she needs, man. Okay? Not the woman. We're going to get Exodus chapter 21. Let's get Exodus chapter 21. And we're going to start at verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, right? Her raiment, right? And her duty of marriage shall not be diminished. And if he do not these three, right, unto her, then shall she go out free without money. All right? She tried to make it work. She gave him opportunity to take care of her. He didn't. So she able to go out free, man, and go and try to say, listen, I got to make, because guess what? My husband didn't. So now I got to be, I'm a man. Because unfortunately, it's not always gravy with every woman. They get a knucklehead. All right? They get one of these beta males, man. And they don't get an alpha. They get a little beta, man. And then they got to turn around and take care of him. He's still a boy, man. He's not quite ripened yet. He's not good for the picking. But we go and make the wrong choices because we forsaken the God of our youth and we didn't keep him first. And we didn't do like Bathsheba did. We didn't do like Sheba did when she came to Solomon and proved him with hard questions, man. And seeing how he was living and got to know the Father. We didn't do these things lawfully. All right? And we believe that man for his smooth words and his ability to speak good rather than his actions. All right? Let's get Genesis right quick. We're going to go way back to the beginning. We're going to go be reborn. Let's go back. Let's go get reborn. All right? This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 24. This is the first marriage in the Bible. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they both were naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. They were not ashamed, man. All right, the man gonna leave his father. We learn about that in the book of Tobit. If you read the book of Tobit, you're gonna see that his son went to the father, right, to get the daughter. She wasn't living on her own. She was still at her father's house. All right, and she done had many husbands already. But that let you know she was going back. She was at her father's house. She was at her father's house. All right. And this woman was not. She was a married woman. You got to go and create a place of stability. You got a year to cheer that woman up. Meaning you got to go get a house. You got to show that you can provide for her. You know, all of these things, man. All right. And then once you betroth her. And then you can take her to be your wife, man. All right? Just like in the book of Esther, man. It was a whole year that he gave the women the things that they needed for grooming. All right? For purification. All right? For a whole year, he gave them time. All right? These women. All right? He showed that he was a provider and he could take care of them. All right? This woman was still staying with her mom. And then Tobit came. Okay, we're going to get 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 14. I would therefore that the young women marry. See? Young. He didn't say be 80 years old. Did he say old woman? He said, I would therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. All right. So we go to book of Acts chapter 6 and 1 and give a definition of reproachfully. All right. This is the book of Acts chapter 6 and verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration, man. See that? Nobody was helping these widows, man. They was neglected. All right? I think everybody know what neglected means. They was neglected in the daily ministration, man. All right? They wasn't taken care of. So what they had to do was they had to go wait tables, and that didn't look good, man. Waiting on people hand and foot, man. All right, for our women to do that. This don't look good, man. All right, it says, whether or not they plan to marry and have families, by the 1970s was underway. In the period after World War II, many women had not expected that they would spend as much of their adult lives working, as turned out to be the case. By contrast, in the 1970s, young women more commonly expected that they would spend a substantial educational attainment and taking courses and college majors that better equip them for careers as opposed to just jobs. These changes in attitudes and expectations were supported by other changes underway in society. Workplace protections were enhanced through the passage of the Pregnancy Discrimination Act in 1978 and the recognition of sexual harassment in the workplace. Access to birth control increased. So what it's saying is this: when jobs increase for women, then they got to access to birth control. All right, meaning what? It allowed married couples greater control over the size of their families, and young women the ability to delay marriage and to plan children around their educational and work choices. See that? So, an option for killing a child, right? So they can work. This is an evil, man. This is a curse. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 54 reads, so that 56 it reads like, the tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole or her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thy enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. See that? That's what it's talking about. Let's get verse 41. Thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. All right? They gonna go into captivity, man. Meaning what? They gonna serve their master. That's what they gonna do. All right? They gonna wind up serving their master. All right, let's get 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 10. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king, and he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself for his chariot and to his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariot. And he will appoint him captains over thousands, put them, your children, in his military, and captains over 50s, and will set them to ear the ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants, man. You got to understand what's going on here, man. All right. Because of the defiance. All right. You don't want to do the commandments. All right. So this is why this is happening. Okay. All right. Walk with me. All right. Let's get 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 11. It says, but the younger widows refused. All right? They was like, well, I'm not gonna marry. All right? I'm looking for Mr. Right. All right? That's an excuse for not marrying. I'm waiting on Mr. Right. All right? What makes a man right in the first place? We have to ask ourselves. Him fearing God. Him fearing God is Mr. Right. That's the right thing to do. That's someone that's righteous. Someone that fears God. All right? But we have painted this visual or this perception in our mind that and created of ourselves, really. All right? It's a mirror of ourselves. Just you looking at yourself as a male rather than a woman. And you want this man to have the same tendencies and behaviors of yourself, not knowing really you just want a woman. This is the mindset of the daughters of Zion, man. And this why we will never have righteous self-development in its truth until everyone and every knee bow and everyone submit themselves unto the Lord, man. All right, and come back to their God. For when they have begun to wax wanting against Christ, they will marry. In subordination. And in 1974, women gained for the first time the right to apply for credit. Let's deal with
insubordination.
Insubordination. Defiance of authority. Right? Refusal to obey orders. Disobedience. Indiscipline. Misbehavior. Misconduct. See, women are out of order. Rebellion. Revolt. Defiance. Awkwardness. Mischief. Roguery. Carrying on. And they carrying on. Insubordination is the act of willfully disobeying. All right, so this ain't talking about the ones who willfully want to get a job and the ones that don't have no choice because the man ain't doing his job, what he's supposed to be doing, because you got the right to go out free. Right? But because you choose to, even though you got someone that's willing and that's trying everything he got to be what the Lord told him to be, and that's a provider for his family, who want to be there for his children. And not someone you having to force and make be there for your children. It is generally a punishable offense. So this used to be like a punishable offense when someone wouldn't obey. All right, but the Lord is the one that's doing the judgment, and he's the one that's doing everything. In 1974, women gained for the first time the right to apply for credit in their own name without a male cosigner. Banks could refuse women a credit card until the Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974 was signed into law. Prior to that, a bank could refuse to issue a credit card to an unmarried woman. And if a woman was married, her husband was required to co-sign. As women increased their education and joined industries and occupations formerly dominated by men, the gap in earnings between women and men began to close significantly. America has reaped great benefits from the increasing role that women have played in the economy. While some married women chose not to work, the size of this disparity should lead us to examine the extent to which structural problems, such as a lack of equal opportunity and challenges to combining work and family, are holding back women advancement. Recent research has shown that although women now enter professional schools in numbers nearly equal to men, they are still substantially less likely to reach the highest echelon of their professions. The gap in earnings between men and women has narrowed substantially, but progress has slowed lately, and women working full-time still earn about 17% less than men. So, what's more beneficial? Is it more beneficial for you to work or the man? Y'all can work the same job, but he's going to get paid more. What this is saying, y'all can work the same job, but he's going to get paid 17% more than you, even though y'all have the same position. Watch this. On average each week, even when we compare men and women in the same or similar occupations who appear nearly identical in background and experience, a gap of about 10% typically remains. Research has shown that although women now enter professional schools in numbers nearly equal to men, they are still substantially less likely to reach the highest echelon of their professions. Even in my own field of economics, women constitute only about 1/3, a number that has barely budged in 2 decades. This lack of success in climbing the professional ladder would seem to explain why the wage gap actually remains largest for those at the top of the earnings distribution. So even though y'all can have the same job, a man still gonna make more than you. One of the primary factors contributing to the failure of these highly skilled women to reach the top of their professions and earn equal pay is that top jobs in fields such as law and business require longer work weeks and penalize taking time off. This would have a disproportionately large effect on women who continue to bear the loins shared of domestic and child rearing responsibilities. Let's talk about women who have children, right? She gonna want to having to take off from work. She gonna be penalized for that. But it can be difficult for women to meet the demands in these fields once they have children. So that's why a lot of women don't want to have children, because their job comes first, and they know that if they have a child, it's going to interfere with that job. A man can have a child, but it's not going to interfere with him working. He's still going to be able to work, even though, because he don't bear the child, the woman do. But now he bared the child, and the woman out there at work, he over there stressing like, I hope my wife okay, I hope my child okay, because they both sitting here working in the field. This don't make sense, man, to worry that man like that. The very fact that these types of jobs require such long hours likely discourages some women, as well as men, from pursuing these career tracks. It's saying some of these jobs, man, so discourage men. I'm talking about the long hours. They even discourage men better. You know what's going to happen with women. But the difficulty of balancing work and family is a widespread problem. In fact, the recent trend in many occupations is to demand complete scheduling flexibility, which can result in too few hours of work for those with family demands and can make it difficult to schedule childcare. See? This can make it difficult to have someone to tend to the child, man, because you have to work. Now you got to try to find a daycare, and mama, could you keep them? If you don't got no money for the daycare, now you got to throw them off on some stranger and hope that they gather your wheat into the barn. Your child is the wheat. All right? Another problem is that in most states, child care is affordable for fewer than half of all families. And just 5% of workers with wages in the bottom quarter of the wage distribution have jobs that provide them with paid family leave. So only 5% have family leave. Like they get pregnant, they go home and still get paid. You get pregnant, you go home, you lose your job. Now, all of a sudden, now the man got to go out here now. Now you got to depend on the man. You have to be forced to trust your man now. It shouldn't be like that. That means she had to lose all she got for her to trust the man, man. Because she like, oh, I ain't have no trust, but I don't have no trouble to trust this man. I lost my credit. You know what I'm saying? I lost my job, can't get a good job. And all of a sudden, then women, they take men. For what? Stepping stones, man. They try to get back up. They try to do that. That's it. That's all a lot of them is doing, man. Using men for stepping stones. They really don't even want to be with the man they with. Just using him to get to where they want to be. What they want. Okay? And just 5% of workers with wages in the bottom quarter of the wage distribution have jobs that provide them with paid family leave. The circumstance put many women in the position of having to choose between caring for a sick family member and keeping their jobs. Which one? Yeah, I gotta work. But my child is sick. Oh my goodness. Could you keep my child? I gotta go to work. I don't want to miss. You shouldn't be put in you shouldn't have to make a choice like this. It shouldn't even be that difficult. This possibility should inform our own thinking about policies to make it easier for women and men to combine their family and career aspirations. Right? So now they want to put in policies, man. God already made a policy, man. Man work. Women keep the house. For instance, improving access to affordable and good quality child care would appear to fit the bill, as it has been shown to support full-time employment. Did y'all hear what that said? All right. It says improving access to affordable and good quality child care. Like what? Daycare. Women don't have to pay the full amount. Some women only is having to pay 10% of what the daycare costs. All right. They made it more cheaper so you can put your child in there so you can get back to work, to keep your family destroyed. You got to ask yourself, in this world, nothing is free. Everything comes with a cost. Everything comes with a price, man. What are you giving up for this? You got to say, what? Israel got to say, what am I giving up for this 10% right here? And you're going to pay 90% and I only got to pay 10? And I can put my child in a daycare? You think you're getting a deal, don't you? See, because the Most High have deprived this woman of her wisdom. Let's get Job chapter 39 and verse 17 again. All right, I'm not joking. This is not a joke, man. This is real life. It says, because this is the book of Job, chapter 39, verse 17, because God have deprived her of her wisdom, neither have he imparted to her understanding. All right, wisdom is like being able to have good judgment. You got to be able to ask yourself, women, look, I only got to pay $20. Y'all going to pay the rest of the $70 a week? Wow. Yeah, they got a deal. See, we got a deal, honey. She done talked the man into eating of this fruit. So he like, okay, that news makes sense. Because y'all thinking business at the time. Not understanding family is a business, man. And they're destroying your family business and your family wealth, man. To create family generational wealth, man. But you're so simple that you allow these people to say, surely the net is cast in the sight of any bird, man. All right? The hunter, he hunting. All right? The devil looking for who he can devour, man. And then you put that child in there, man. All right? Because you got to go what? Work full time to get that full time check. And if you want that double overtime, you got to work over 40 hours, man. Meaning this child ain't getting the attention this child need to be taught. His reading, his curriculum, all right, his math, all right. He's not able to receive these things that a nourishing child needs in order to thrive. All right, because you so stuck on working, enslaving for your oppressors to constantly keep on oppressing you. The money you're making and being taxed will going right back to the white supremacy schools, right? The white supremacy police force, right? Because they're not protecting and serving you. They're out here shooting you down, right? Telling the truth. indoctrinating your child with the history. They're not teaching both black and white history. They're teaching white history mainly. It was just in the news where they had the woman pull their child out of school for that, man. All right. It says, the United States faces a number of longer-term economic challenges, including the aging of the population and the low growth rate of productivity. One recent study estimates that increasing the female participation rate to that of men would raise our gross domestic product by 5%. Our workplaces and family, meaning what? They need your wives if you're married, all right, in the work field, all right, to boost the economy. All right, we need your wives to work. You understand? In order to boost the economy. Why? Because it's going to destroy the family. Okay? If you're raising little sons, it's going to get little Timmy ready for their prison, where they make all their money at. All right? And you most likely going to indoctrinate your child. All right? From their traditions in their schools, and their daycares, and their workplaces. All right? So you have to ask yourself, when they're giving you something, what is this for? Boy, our workplaces and families, as well as women themselves, will benefit from continued progress. However, a number of factors appear to be holding women back, including the difficulty women currently have in trying to combine their careers with other aspects of their lives, including caregiving. All right? And a lot of women just doing it because they want to appear to be working, even though they're not. They're deceiving themselves. And another word for that is fugal. All right? It means to pretend to work when in reality, one is not doing anything. All right? Like if I walk in and you pick up a broom and act like you're sweeping, you been sleeping the whole day. You ain't do nothing. All right? The keeper of the house, you ain't fooling nobody. We know who the keepers of the house are. They're not fooling anybody. But I'm telling you, this is where they went. Let's get Job chapter 39 and verse 10. Let's start at verse 9. We're going to get Job 39. And we're going to start at verse 9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee? All right, the Lord asked, will the unicorn be willing, all right, to serve you? He's speaking to the woman. Right? Talking to Israel. Israel is a woman. All right? And he's talking to a woman. All right? One that rebelled. All right? Gonna do things their way, man. All right? Is he gonna be able to serve? And a uniform, it represents strength, man. That's what a horse represents, strength. Okay? A man with strength. Watch this. Will he be willing to serve you or abide by the crib? Are you going to get this man to be that house man that you want? Like a lot of women say they can train, right? That man. He don't got to know everything. I can train him to rest. That's these masculine women, man. Right? When God created him to be the strength, to lead the way, to mold you, not you molding him, but she gonna say, she think in her mind that she could train this unicorn that has all this strength. All right, watch this. Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow? All right, we know what the furrow is. He said, plant your seed. When you find a good possession, plant your seed in that furrow, man. All right? I'm not going to get vulgar. All right? All right, because a lot of women out here think that they can keep a man that way. It's more to a relationship than just the S word. All right, it's more to a relationship than that. All right, but some women think that's enough. That's all it's gonna take, right, to keep a man. Or will he harrow the valley after thee? Harrow mean, man, look, plow the ground, man. All right, labor. You know what I'm saying? Night and day. You know what I'm saying? Take your orders, man. All right? Watch this. The valley's after you. Is he gonna make you his world? You can get him to make him harrow all this ground out here for you. Whew. Watch this. Will thou trust him? Because his strength is great. Now I say I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All right? That's who I can do all things through is Christ. All right? And his words is what give you the strength. All right? His words is what give me strength. All right? But this man, right, with this strength, right, she think that, right, he got good, smooth words. He got game. To the point she believe him. Wilt thou believe him? Watch what it say, verse 11. Will thou trust him because his strength is great? Or will thou lead thy labor to him? Or would you leave your labor to him, man? Would you even trust him with the things you don't work for, like your money, your car? He ride around town in your car. He got you. You'll trust him. You ain't even, this man is like just your boyfriend. But you'll trust your children with him to bring them home, to go pick them up from school, bring them back while you at work. You'll trust this man. All right? Because he got game. Because his words, that's why it's talking about his strength. All right? His words, man, are great, man. He got game. All right? Watch this. Will thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed? Thy seed is your children, right? See? You allow him to pick your children up from school. That's when you know, that's when a man know like you really trust him. When he ain't even the father of those children. But you allow him to go to school, go to the daycare and pick them up, you know, because you got to get off at 6. He done gained your trust, man. That's all it took. He took you out of, y'all been talking for 2 months or 3 months or something, man. He probably pulled a few scriptures out of the Bible, man. But he was eating it like it was sacrificed to idols, meaning what? He was using the scriptures in Christianity. He wasn't using it in his truth. Right? And now he got you all the seed. Right? And you thinking like this man really cared for you, man, to the point you even trust your children, man, in his care. And gather it into thy barn. See? Thy barn, man. That's where you keep everything safe at, man. Like a shelter. Let's get Matthew 13. I'm going to show you in verse 27. We're going to read down to 30. It reads, So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From where then has it tares? See, the seed is talking about the children of the kingdom, man. All right? This ain't literally talking about orange. You planting apples and oranges and, you know, peas, watermelons. It ain't talking about those type of seeds. It's talking about children. All right? He said unto them, An enemy have done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? See, gather. It's talking about gathering them up. All right? But he said, No, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. See? Into his firstborns. That's talking about this word is truth, man. All right, you gonna trust this man, right? To bring them up in these laws, statutes, and commandments? Even though he don't keep them, he just running game on them. 13. Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks? He asked him, the wings that you see on a peacock, did you do that? Or wings and feathers unto the ostrich? Did you give the wings, right, and the feathers unto the ostrich? He's saying, like, well, you gonna try to play God. See, that's what these women try to do. They say they think they can mold a man into what they want him to be. You think you can, if a man ain't spiritual, you can't make him spiritual. God got to do that, man. Women think they can teach men about God, man. You can't teach men about God. That's not your area. That's not your field, man. It's a set a man over the congregation, man. All right? It's not. But when she ate it, when the serpent told her, he said, in the day you eat, you're going to be as gods. You're not God. I'm sorry. This is the truth. Who can make that straight which God made crooked? No one. Only God can, man. That man crooked, man, guess what? Only person gonna be able to make him straight is God. That's it. Only God gonna be able to make him straight. Not you. 14. Which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. She forget where she at, man. She forget that it's still evil in this world. You see that the evil approaching. You need to be seeking Lord, man, while he can be found and while he is near. But she's not. She forget that wild beasts may break them, her eggs, her children, her young. She forget that she's in captivity. That's why you need a God-fearing man to remind you, listen, we are in captivity. 16. She is hardened against her young ones. See? Right? Because if you let a man, he ain't in the father of these children, he picking up your child and bringing them back and, you know, and this and that, man. Listen, man. You believe him? You know what, man? Listen, man. Let's get it. Tell him. All right. He's speaking to the woman. She is hardened against her young ones, and though they were not hers, as though they were not hers, her labor is in vain without fear. Raising them, having them, all that right there. When she was in labor and she was pushing, all that was for nothing, man. Only to do it, lose the child. The child might have well died right there from birth, man. And she was gonna raise them in this Christianity, in this evil world, man, and not teach them of the Heavenly Father, man. All her labor she did was in vain if she wasn't gonna teach them of the Heavenly Father. She pushed that baby out for nothing. That's what it's talking about, man. Her labors is in vain without fear. Because why? God have deprived her of wisdom. Because when you sinning and you out here being wicked, doing what the Lord said not to do, you're doing it your way, God will deprive you of your wisdom. What makes you wise is you fearing God and keeping his commandments and doing it the way God had commanded you to do it. That's what makes you wise, man. Okay? Neither have he imparted to her understanding, all right? Let's get Joel 28 and verse 28. We're going to stay right here. Let's see what the understanding is. It reads, and unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. So technically, according to Job's understanding, wisdom is when you fear the Lord. See, she don't fear the Lord, so she been deprived of fearing the Lord. See, that's what it's getting at, man. The fearing the Lord is departing from evil, man. All right, arrogancy, pride, all of these things, man. Okay. Let's get Let's get 18 and 19. What time she lifted up herself on high, she scorned the horse and his rider. That man, once she get, like, listen, once she make herself the head, I'm telling you, she gonna start to despise men, man. That's why a lot of women out there despise men. He's not worthy. I don't want a garbage man. He's not worthy of having me. He's, you know, I got this. I got a PhD. You know, they start looking at men with this, like, despite, man. Start despising them. All right, 19. Hast thou given the horse strength? Hast thou closed his neck with thunder? All right, no, haven't.
Yeah, I visit hell, then came back with the keys of death. In the image of God, created him, male and female, created them and called their names Adam. So let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and prepare battle, ye blind guides which strain of the neck and swallow a camel. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, cause that would be like planting mushrooms and expecting bananas. Cause hope seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why do he hope? For how he'll become like a bottle in the smoke.